started. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Call Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Recha Kodash, double honor to the elders apostles, the great millstone who rule well and teach well, and who are the true leaders of Israel today. Start with Elder Pastor Tahar on down. I also like to give double honor to the head and the elder of the Man of Israel camp, the Chazak, whom I teach under down here in Greenville, South Carolina. And I also like to give another shout out to you, sincere Akim, you brothers out there that's pushing this word and this truth in all sincerity and righteousness in these last days. Alright, to y'all, I'd like to say Shalom. And also, by the way, Shabbat Shalom. Alright, to you, Akim and Wathiam. Alright, that's keeping the Sabbath. Alright, which is currently Wednesday Eve to Thursday Eve. But anyway, I was at the plantation, man. Precept that just popped in my head, man. It was, I believe it's Ecclesiastes 77. Matter of fact, let me see. Make sure. I believe it's Ecclesiastes 7. Yeah. And because Jake was at the plantation, and man, when I say they worked the shit out of Jake today, man, like it just like fuck, bro. You get tired of having to serve your enemy, man, having to work for this so-called white man, and he works the shit out of you, man. There's nothing new under the sun, man. This man, worked this. Well, shit, we really can't complain as much, but like goddamn, you just don't get a fucking break with this man. But our ancestors had it worse, which really our ancestors coming back, but it just like fuck, man. This the precept Jake thought about when Jake was working today, man. Usually, I don't mind working or whatever, but you do get tired of working for this so-called white man, all right? Because he loved, for Jake's, how can I put this? He loved to see Jake work, man. Like it makes him feel like a slave owner, slow to speak, man. He get that old feeling, oh yeah, I'm a slave master, which the scriptures call them if I'm not mistaken, the scriptures call them taskmasters, and if you go into that word taskmasters, it basically means somebody who's supervising, somebody who's over you, man. These devils, like I said, these devils get an urge of, they feel like they over you, man. Which, in reality, they not, but they is in a way, because this is their kingdom, and that's why, we're ready for Yahweh Shai. We're ready for Yahweh Shai to come back and deliver us. So those roles could be reversed, because, hey, when we get our kingdom, guess what? They're gonna serve full-blown captivity slavery, boy. They gonna get it, man. They gonna really get it, bro. They gonna hate us, because they gonna really work sun up to sundown, man. And they ain't getting no fucking lunch break, no 10-minute break, none of that. Y'all gonna be working. Y'all, hey, they're gonna be happy for the Sabbath then, bro. Cause they don't keep the Sabbath, when the Lord say keep the Sabbath, he mean no work be done, none of that. No buying and selling, none of that. We can't even get the Sabbath off of work, man. We can't even get that off. Show you this devil don't live by the scriptures, man. And want to just work the shit out, Jake's. And he worked the shit out of his own people. And like I said, I always make this reference, at the plantation. I ain't gonna say what plantation I work at, but I always make a joke, I always make a joke just to, throw it out there to them. I be like, shit, these machines keep going down. How much more us, Shit, these machines go down. Y'all expect us to goddamn, not fuck up and y'all expect us not to fuck up and expect us to, run like we fucking robots. Yeah, these damn robots steady fucking up, man. I be like, how much more us? These robots fucking up. These supposed to be robots. They not supposed to get tired, and yet they still fucking up. You don't think our body's going through the same shit? You know, I said it in a joking way. I don't say it like that, but you get the point. You know. But anyway, man, let's read this scripture because this is really the only scripture I got. Salakia. Oh wow. Salakia, man. Jake tired, man. Anyway, it's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 7, and it says, "Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart." You see that? This oppression that we go through, man, make a wise man mad, bro, because we know we're not supposed to be working for our enemies, but because of our disobedience, us, going astray from Yahweh Shai, and he put us in this condition. He put us in a situation where we got to serve our enemy, man, in the land of our captivity, man. You see? And like the scripture says, surely oppression. We're going through oppression over here in the Americas, man. This is Egypt all over again, but worse. Worse. And Jay ready to get the hell up out of here, man. Matter of fact, let me go into that word. Oppression. All right, this is the word oppression in Hebrew. It says oppression, extortion, injury, oppression, extortion, gain by exhortation. Yeah, we're going through distress at work, man. Look at that word, distress. Extremely anxiety, sorrow, or pain. We're going, man, Jake body be hurting, man. Jake body be hurting, man. God damn. Like, fuck, man. Your damn bones sore. But, Jake still push through. We ain't gonna, Jake ain't weak. We gonna still push through no matter what. But it's just a simple fact, like, they don't give a fuck. They expect you to, bow down to them, which, we ain't gonna do that. At the end of the day, we ain't gonna bow down to these devils. Now we will do our work, do our job, because we gotta get our daily bread, but we ain't gonna sit there and, bow down to y'all, man, at the end of the day. Because we only bow down to Yahweh Shai, But, like I said, they get that, that feeling like they rule over you, man. Y'all don't rule over shit. Y'all just got a little position, which, guess what? We don't give a damn, because guess what? When we get our kingdom, we're going to have our position forever, Lord willing. Yahweh Razal. Y'all little position is temporary, man. Temporary ass position, So, like the scripture say, man, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart, man. And you got Jays that be out here that don't see nothing wrong with them busting their ass. So they think this is just normal. This ain't fucking normal. But now you got it to the point where now they starting to complain more. The Lord got them in the spirit to complain, showing you, bro. Hey, I forgot that scripture, roughly paraphrasing. These jobs, basically, they're gonna start to cease because the people are not gonna want to work no more, or AI gonna take over. These jobs are gonna cease. So yeah, man, that's pretty much all I had. Yahweh Razal, this video was edifying. Something quick. Something that was on my mind while I was at the plantation. Because, hey, man, this oppression making Jake mad, man. Jake ready to get the hell up out of here. Let alone we got to deal with the bullshit outside of work. With 2/3. Jake just ready for Yahweh Shai to end all this shit, man. And I could just imagine how our elders apostles and our the elders apostles, the great millstone, and even from the elder of my camp, man. Imagine how they feel. Shit, had to deal with this bullshit even longer than me. I can't really be as mad, but it makes me mad. Like I said, I could just imagine how the hell they feel. So, like I said, man, Lord willing, this video was edifying. I'm gonna close it with giving all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rechach Wadash. Double honor to the elders apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and who are the true leaders of Israel today. Stop elder apostles on down. Double honor to the elder of the man of Israel camp, the Chazak, whom I teach on the down here in Greenville, South Carolina, and Shalom TCC Akim, and Shabbat Shalom.